Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 of my Argent depth set review. I was going to make this all one video, but I saw part 1, just the fire cards was taking almost an hour, so I decided I'm going to split it up into multiple videos. Now we get to the time cards. Now, starting off with, shouldn't hopefully take as long, we have Desperate Couriers, a 1 power 0/3 rogue with the following ability. Your cards cost 1 less on the enemy turn. Summon Plunder. Oh, this is a hard one to evaluate because, cheaper counter spells. I'm all about cheaper counter spells because I'm gonna get you a cheaper ambush. This reduces the cost of ambush. It's certainly interesting because, we haven't seen anything really like this before. I don't know. This one I'm going to actually put, also has Summon Plunder on top of it. I'm going to put this in the 1 category because I think this might have some niche uses somewhere. Because a lot of these time decks really don't have that much to do on 1. But other than the bird, Initiate the Sands, certainly I think if you wove it around it, and also Plunder seems like a pretty useful ability, but it might just be okay in draft. But I think this is, if there was ever some kind of ambush deck, I think this could certainly help out in that. So it's not entirely write-offable, but don't ever forget, there's a 1 power fast spell, Silence an enemy unit with Revenge. It's 1. Pretty easy on that. It's nice that it has Revenge. And it's fast speed. We have the 0 cost Silence. It's never seen play. I don't think this is really going to see play either outside of limited, but just the way it is. And also, it's only enemy unit. I wish this was your own unit, because I definitely would. I would just a Silence unit, because my Silence deck is almost there. It is that close. Because, there's Deafening Word, there's Shush, there's a couple other things that really make that engine work. I just wish this was one of the cards I could use, because I could definitely use it. But unfortunately, no. Then we have the time from the 1 power fast spell, Kill an enemy relic, where you transmute for triple primal, triple shadow into a 4/8 plasma primordial. Plasma primordial is a 6 power 4/8 with the following ability. When enemy player plays a spell, they discard each copy from their deck. Okay. At the start of your turn, play a 3/1 plasma globule with Killer. Whoa! Card is amazing. I 100% need this card. The plasma part, okay, the from below part is fine, but my gosh, if you need an incentive to go for that plasma primordial, it is there. Card looks amazing. You have to deal with that. And it's a 4/8, which is just a great stat line to have. Yeah, this card is amazing, honestly. Whew. Slot this into Felon Control, honestly. You don't need the first half of it. This is just a solid card for Felon. I don't believe you need to play, it works with the other from cards. Oh my gosh. That's 2 abilities. When they play a spell, they discard each copy from their deck. Unless that spell is Turn to Seed, which it's quite possible it is, because that's a way of dealing with this guy. But holy moly. And I wonder if that triggers first. I wonder if playing Turn to Seed would trigger, then discard all the copies from Turn to Seed, and then turn it into a 0/1 plant. I don't know. It's somewhere to try out, but this card, oh my gosh, is super good. It's not difficult to get triple primal, triple shadow. We've seen it. I mean, we've been doing it with Midnight Gale. Especially too mixing this with the champ and buffing it every turn. Whew. It makes dudes. Makes 3/1s with killer, which it's probably a new card. It won't show me because it's an extra layer of card that we haven't like sussed out yet because we have the 3/1, but this is a card. Okay. Done gushing about this, but I can't wait to play this card, honestly. It sounds so good. Monk Innovator is a 1-power 1/1. When you play another unit, it gets +1/+1 this turn. Summon Plunder. Okay. I don't get it. I mean, it seems like it works with charge units, but I don't get it. 1 star. Time etchings. Yes. Talked about this before. They look pretty good. Wild Growth Decay is a 1-power 1/2 druid with decay. When you transform 1 or more cards, Wild Growth Druid gets +1/+1. Another card that goes into the Transform Matters decks. I don't know. Maybe this one puts them over the top. I mean, we've got Yorja, we've got Mind Link, we've got Turn to Seed. Like, the pieces are almost there. Like, I crafted Mind Links. Everything but Vargo's Pelt. But this card, I don't even know how it fits in those decks. I don't know how it interacts and everything like that. But it's another piece of that. And, I mean, I'm sure it gets bigger. Also, if you turn to seed something, it just says 1 or more cards. Does that exclude cards in the deck? If not, this card is bonkers bananas with turn to seed. Because it gets plus, I mean, if you transform a +4/+4, it becomes a 5/6, which is kind of crazy. If you can get this off with turn to seed, if it works how I think it does, that's kind of insane. But because I know Yorja doesn't work like that. Yorja only works with and Mind Link only works like that too when you transform a card and play. But just when you transform 1 or more cards, it should count. The way that it's worded currently, it should count cards in their deck as being transformed. So, who knows? But as it stands, I mean, this is just another piece that hopefully makes that deck playable. Above just meme tier. Right now, the deck is meme tier. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The deck is meme tier. But I hope this, as far as a rating goes, it's a 2. Because it may see play in that deck. If that is a deck. Which it might not be. It might just be meme tier. But I see it like that. If my brain is processing this card like that, I'm seeing it like that. Ancient Machinist is a 2-power 2/1 Explorer. When you play a spell with cost 5 or more, transform Ancient Machinist into a Sentinel with attack and health equal to that spell's cost. Yeah, we run into more problems. It's like, what spells are you playing that cost 5 or more? I guess Nihil's Distillation comes to mind. If you use Ancient Machinist and you exhaust him to make Nihil's Distillation cost 5, then you draw your cards, then he becomes a 5/5. I don't know. It still gets us into this frame of having to play spells that cost 5 or more. Yeah. I'm gonna be generous on this card and give it a 2. Because if there is something with Sentinels and spells that cost, I don't know. but we'll see. Maybe there's some Moment of Creation deck out there. Who knows? Apprentice Mage is a 2-mana 2/2 time mage +1 maximum power. Okay. I don't like this, but I mean, we have Power Stone, and if Power Stone is in the format, I'm not sure about this most recent expedition. If Power Stone is the format, then the season will play, because Power Stone, it's a lot easier to kill a unit than to kill a relic. It is much more difficult to kill a relic. But it's not. I mean, +1 max power is already a pretty decent ability. But I still think this is a 1. It may become a 2 if Power Stone is not in the format. But we still have that 2-mana Combri card that makes weapons +1 attack that gets +1 power. I like that pretty decently. I believe that card is still in the format, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, so 2. I'm gonna give this a 2. It could possibly see play. Desert Alchemist is a 2-power 2/1 deadly ambush summon plunder. This card is a 4. My God, this is a good card. Like, only thing it doesn't do is have flying. That's it. This card is removal. It's card draw. It's fixing. I mean, if you need to turn something into a power, like, plunder on this particular card is so good. Like, because even if it didn't have plunder, it would still be a good card. And I feel like that's kind of the disconnect I find with some of these plunder cards is they become much better when you put plunder on them, but if they didn't have plunder, they really wouldn't be worth playing. This card would be playable without plunder. But you gave it plunder! 4 stars! This card is amazing! I can't wait to play with it. I guess that's more my feeling of these 4-star cards. I can't wait to play with them. We have a Feral Mandrake. Feral Mandrake is a 2-power triple time 2/2 Mandrake. With Imbue, when you transform 1 or more cards, play Feral Mandrake from your void exhausted. What does this do? Like, where does this go? Like, I don't. Okay, the Imbue ability is. It seems okay, but that second ability just does not seem relevant. Unless you're putting it into the... I don't even see really how it's limited relevant. Like, because you want to be playing this in a Transformed Matters deck. Because with your Turn to Seeds and your Polymorphs and your various other transformation type deals, I guess it plays it again, but I don't know. Like, Imbue is and the mechanic, minus a couple cards, really confuses me how its playability is, and I don't see it in this card at all. It just really baffles me, the design behind it. So I gotta give it 1 star. All right. Inspiring Captain is a 2-power 1/1. Inspired Captain can be imbued up to 3 of your units. Okay. I mean, tokens? I just... He seems neat, okay, like, and the right type of... Which I've been thinking as well, with Lurking Raptors and Imbue. Seems pretty decent, like. But Inspiring Captain. Maybe this goes in our Silence deck. Because, like, The problem is this doesn't have Overwhelm. It really needs Overwhelm. And I feel like you're really losing card advantage with I know it's a can ability, but at the same time, if you're imbuing the 3 units, like, I don't know, it has no evasion. Has no other card, like, it needed Decay, or it needed, like, Overwhelm, or Flying, or Unblockable, or something else other than just Imbue. Like, I get we can give it those abilities, like, we can fire it up, we have cards that can do that, but, like, with Flying or something like that, but you're putting all of your eggs in one basket, and you're minusing on 3 other units. I don't see it. 1 star. Dune Diver. It's a 3 power, double time, 1/6. Ooh. And if you have double justice, oh, it's a beast. It is just a beast. It has Warcry, and if you have double shadow, he's unblockable. Cool. It's fine. It's a fine card. You know, I like this enough that I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I want to play around with this card. I don't know what archetype it goes in, but it's a 1/6, which is, and you pretty easily giving it Warcry here. I feel like I have enough to make a meme deck with this card. I mean, it's an interesting stat line on, and it has evasion, it has unblockable. If you, like, you stick this in just a Xenon deck, like, you have the flexibility, and the modal flexibility of this is, as long as you're running 2 time, you can make it you can put it in Argent port, you can put it in Combry, you can put it in, I forget the color combinations off my top of my head. But yeah, Corendon. It's Corendon. Why did I forget that? You can put it in Corendon. Overall, I think this is a neat card with a pretty cool ability that I am giving it 2 stars because I like it. All right. Land's Edge is a 3 power relic. Well, single time, should say. At the end of your turn, your stunned units get +2/+2. Oh, man. If Imbue didn't take a snapshot, like, the way they described Imbue is you get the buff right when it happens. So if their stats change for any reason, the buff doesn't go up. So, like, yeah, your stun units you have there get +2/+2 from your Imbued, but I don't know. It seems bad. It seems real bad. 1 star, but there's, because that's the problem, is, like, I guess maybe you're because the way I'm interpreting this is that you want to be doing it with your units with Imbue that have been affected by Imbue, and you want to buff them. You want to keep it out there, and you're buffing up, and you're keeping it all out there. And then when that 1 unit dies, you have a bunch of other buffed units. But I don't know. Seems bad. Then we have the Master Conjurer. Is a 3 power double time 1/5 mage. When Master Conjurer attacks, gain Primal. And when you have 6 Primal, when you play your second spell in a turn, play a 4/4 Storm Dancer with Flying. Interesting. Huh. This is neat. It's good stat lines. I'm just concerned about getting Primal fixing. Primal has been the only one so far that I haven't really seen. And it wants you to attack with this card to get that Primal, to boost up, to get to that 6 Primal, to get to that. Because getting Primal Influence has always seemed to be a challenge. And maybe we get there easier than before, with some other cards we're talking about later. But right now, this card just seems okay. I put it at a 3. I think it's at a 3. It's somewhere between 2 and 3. If I'm being honest, it's somewhere on the playability scale, but it's a pretty nifty ability. And yeah, see if this affects me. Like, I'm not excited by it because like we have cards that have Echo that make 2 copies of themselves, and of course we have things like snowballs and stuff like that. But is getting to that level of power worth it is the question, because like I don't see it, but maybe it is. Maybe there is a. You only get 1 per turn. I guess there's the possibility you do get it on your opponent's turn as well if you've got 2 spells to play on their turn. You've got 2 fast spells, so maybe that's something. I don't know. So wait to see. We'll throw it around. We're definitely going to throw it around in a deck. Then we'll be able to get back to it. All right. We have the time cycle of the quadruple influence, which is a rebuild, which is 3 and quadruple time. With Revenge, you get +1 health for each of your units. You get +1 power this turn for each of your fire influence. This card has combo written all over it. Like, especially that it has Revenge. That's the crazy part about it. I know they were part of the article when they first announced the set is they were saying that they were going to have Revenge in cards that have never had it before. Oh, in Factions never had it before. We have not really seen time cards with Revenge. I think this is the only one I've seen so far. But that second ability seems really good. There's some kind of combo, like especially just out of nowhere, draw a card. All of a sudden, I have 6 extra power to work with this turn. Seems pretty crazy. I don't know. The upfront influence is very. I mean, you're really gonna play this in a Praxis deck, some kind of Praxis deck. But really, as long as you can cast it and you have some fire influence in play, I don't believe you need to have like max out. But I think this card is very powerful. 100% has potential. I just don't know what build it goes in. I'm going to give it 3 stars because this is an incredibly powerful ability that, it pays for itself, hopefully, and I think has the tide to change games like that. And possibly this is a market card. You can just pull out of a market and be able to just roll with it. And I don't know. This amount of like power stuff makes me think it has combo potential, especially it only costs 3. Like, all right, that was rebuild. Now we have Sand Tornado. Sand Tornado is a 3 power time 2/3 with ambush flying on the enemy turn. That's a fine draft card you got there. Worldly Cleric. Summon, you gain health equal to your time influence. It's a solid 1. Easy reviews. We have Blur Haze Worm, which is a 4 power 1/1 worm. Double time with Imbue. Ultimate, when you play a card on the enemy turn, draw 2 cards. I mean, interesting. Because the way I'm looking at this is it has it's not that hard to play card on the enemy turn. It gives you a wisdom. Like, that's drawing 2 cards. We're just going to put a baseline is worth 3 power. So if you're doing that and I don't know why it has Imbue, but I don't know. This card confuses me greatly. I know it's a limited card, but it's still a very powerful ability with that ultimate going off there. Yeah, I just don't like that it has Imbue, honestly. It's 1 star, but It is a very powerful ultimate. So then we have Brightling, one of the first cards spoiled with the set. Brightling is a 4-power time 1/3 Wisp with Flying Decay. Apparently it's good in draft. This has not impressed me. Nothing about this impresses me. It's 1 star. All right. Leyline Tracer is a 4-power double time 3/3 mage with decay. When you play a spell, Leyline Tracer gets plus attack plus health this turn, equal to the cost of that spell. That's pretty handy. I'm giving this a 2. I can absolutely see like Finest Hour makes this a 7/7. With combat tricks, this seems pretty goofy. It's another one of those decay. Kind of confuses me because, like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like decay needs other relevant abilities next to it. Or like killer. I wish they had more. We need more cards with killer and decay, honestly. But for the second ability alone, I think this card has the potential. The only problem is it costs 4. If it didn't cost 4, I think it would be a lot better. Even if it was a 3-power 2/2 or 2/3 or some other stat line, if they just cut a power off this card, trim the stats a little bit, I think it would be a lot better. As it stands, but I'm still going to give it 2 stars because I kind of see something here, but maybe I'm just being overly nice. Oops Thought the Savior is a 4-power 5x 6/5 Radiant. When the enemy player places a unit, you gain 1 health. Summon, silence each unit in the enemy player's hand. Well, first off, a 4-power 6/5 is aggressively statted. And when the enemy player places a unit, you gain health. It's okay. But silencing each unit in the enemy player's hand is actually pretty good. The problem I have with this card is we run into influence problems because 5 influence, because you really want to play this on 4 because you want to get around or 5 at the very latest because you want to get around their Icarias, you want to get around their Icarias, you want to get around their fatties. If you're silencing their fatties they have in their hand, those are the kind of things you want to get around. But I think this gets a 3. Because it also seems like a very anti-aggro card as well. Like, if you can get it down early, like, the only thing that really bothers me about this is the 5 influence. I know I've talked about before how easy it is to get influence in this format, and it very much is, but if I'm looking at it purely by the design of the card, it kind of wants to be an anti-aggro card when they're playing units or gaining life. I don't know. I still think it gets a 3. It's somewhere between 2 and 3, because it's a 6/5 body. Like, it's a formatted 6/5 body at the end of the day, which allows you, it's not only you can play it outside of 4 to get a decently statted unit, but you're really wanting to get this guy down early and play out like that. So, I don't know. It's a weird one to evaluate. Battery Mage, great name for a card, is a 5-power, double time, 5/3 mage with +1 maximum power and Surge, +1 maximum power. Well now, man, why aren't you cheaper? It's a really cool ability. I hate to give this thing a 1, but it's a 1. Like, this thing just seems like it can make absurd amounts of power, but it's kept in check by its toughness. It only has 3 toughness, and it costs 5. And yeah, you don't get the power immediately because it gives you +1 maximum power, and it comes into play the following turn, but it's a cool idea, and I dig the idea. It's still a solid one. Delay. Delay is a 5-power double time fast spell with a lot of abilities, it turns out. Negate an enemy spell and put it into the enemy's hand. Play a Minotaur with attack and health equal to that spell's cost. Or play a Minotaur with attack and health equal to your Justice influence. Neat. This card is pretty cool. I wish this bottomed the card. I hate that it just negates. Negates and hands it, because, I mean, I know it protects it for another turn, and it's really cool that you get Minotaur out of it. But it's more of the second option too. Like if you have, it's like Justice Influence is the easiest to get in the format. Getting just a big Minotaur for 5, like, ideally, if you're paying 5 for it, you're getting a 7/7 Minotaur. You're getting a 7 influence. I think that would make it worth the card at that point. At least the second half. It's yet to be seen. The cool thing is this can be played in a Crack the Sky market, which I think is pretty cool. So if you're playing, I know it's not going to matter as much anymore because Crack the Earth. Crack the Earth is not going to be as prevalent. Another thing is, this is a 5-cost spell, which we've seen a couple instances before of 5-cost triggers on things. But I'm looking at it, and I'm going to give it a 2. Like, it's cool. I just don't know how much play it's going to see. Like, it's... If it were going to find play in anything, it would be in the markets of Crack the Earth or in 5-cost Spell Matters decks, which I don't know how good either of those things are going to be, so I'm going to put them right there at 2, which feels safe to me. What else we got? We have an Epoch Infestation. Alright, this card's nutty. Epoch Infestation is a 5-power double time 10/10 Clockroach. Epoch Infestation can't attack or block unless you have played 2 or more spells or Clockroaches this turn. Surge. Move each spell and Clockroach in your deck up 1 card. Fun. Now, I've looked at this card, and this card screams Imbue trigger. Because this is exactly what you want to be stunning. It only costs 5, and it's out there, and boy, do I love Clockroaches. I love Clockroaches, and it makes more Clockroaches come quicker, which is always fun. That's why I think this card is, I mean, it's very powerful in the right deck. I just don't quite know what that deck is. Maybe I won't know what that deck is, but we're looking at it, and I'm seeing a strong 2 to a light 3. Like, the 5-mana 10/10, like, it's... But, I don't know. I will say it's the perfect thing to imbue. So, if you're looking for a good imbue target, this is it. Then we have Lumen Defense. Lumen Defense is a 5-power double time fast spell. Play a 1/3 Wisp of Flying and Endurance for each attacking enemy unit. Huh. I wonder if those are... They are Illumination Wisps. I had to check there for a second. Because that's only 1/3 Flying Wisp, I know. Huh. Well. This card is very interesting. Like, it's... there's a very borderline Radiant Wisp deck out there that I think wants this card. Seems pretty decent against anti-aggro. Also, I can think of a deck that wants this is the Elysian Flyers deck. That deck has always been kind of fringe, as it were, especially if you could turn with the 2-power the 2-power relic that makes all your flying units +1/+1. I think this is kind of crazy with that. I mean, if you had to really make your opponent think twice about attacking, yeah, the more I think about it, this card is actually pretty good. Because, like, Elysian Flyers was always a pretty good deck. And if you just out of nowhere make a bunch of, like, 2 4s or 3 5s in the air with endurance, it seems really decent. I don't think you want 4 of this card. I think it's like a 2 of in that deck. But when it goes off, it sounds like... And maybe you don't want it in every deck. Maybe this is another good card to have in the... Crack the Earth market, because it's a time card, it costs 5. I always have to look at those kind of type deals more carefully, because they're time cards, and Crack the Earth is a time card. But very, very interesting so far. I like this card. I think it's... I hope it finds a home. Like, it's a very strong ability, and I think it's... Like, and I hope it finds a home. That's why I'm going to give it a 3. Like, it's... I'm not running out to craft it, but I think it's a very strong ability. Sage of Sands is a 5-power time 5/5 Mystic summon. You may give another unit endurance and overwhelm this turn. Okay. Cool. 1 star. Fine draft ability. Seed of Creation. Seed of Creation is a 5-power double time fast spell. Draw a random power card and non-power card from your deck. And if you have double fire, deal 2 damage to the enemy player. I mean, cool. I mean, it's technically card draw in time. And if you got that double fire, you throw a little damage at their face. And it is a fast spell, so that is interesting. I don't know what to think about this one. Seems pretty bad. Seems 1 star, even though it is a 5-power draw 2 cards in time. So that is that. It's interesting. Silent Hysteria. Silent Hysteria is a 5-power double time fast spell. Silence the enemy void and gain silence the enemy void and each enemy unit. Gain double fire or double justice. Fast spell. Okay. It's a neat design, actually. Silencing their board and their void is... I mean, it seems pretty good. I'm just seeing everything up about this, and it's nice too that gives you a little bit of influence. I mean, I don't see it mattering. I'm gonna give this one a 2-star because I think it has some market play. Because that is a very powerful ability, silencing their board. Especially if you're not wanting to nuke your board, because really, you want to be playing like a board wipe here, a Heartstrol or a Shinra Speaks, or get balanced. But yeah, I think it has some. I mean, because we were playing Passage Vions for a while, but of course, Passage Vions is much better because it destroys all enemy attachments, I believe. It's definitely Passage Vions is so much better than this card. But if you have a format like Expedition that doesn't have Passage Vions, I think this card is decent enough to see market play. Disappear. Disappear is a 6-power quadruple time fast spell. Put a unit on the bottom of its owner's deck. It's fine. It's time removal. I guess is the you got to pay a premium for that time removal. 1 star. Not much better than that. Reality Snap is a 6 power double time fast spell revenge. Put 2 enemy units in the enemy player's hand. Okay. 1 star. It's limited. It's a limited card. Shadowlands Wanderer is a 6 power double time 3/5 with ambush. And it's also radiant. Shadowlands Wanderer costs 1 less for each of your shadow influences summoned flying this turn. Okay. I like this. This is good. I mean, ideally this thing is free. A free 3/5 with ambush? I'll take it. Also, it's a Radiant, which is a relevant type for the Radiant Wisp deck, which is a Xenon, which is the right colors. And that's all I really care at the end of the day about a lot of these cards. If they're in the right colors to be good. And yeah, it's pretty dope. I give this card 3 stars. I think it definitely has a home somewhere. It's just trying to figure out where that home is. Then we have Tuvon Skybreak Giant is a 6 power triple time 7/7 giant with overwhelm and ambush. Pay 4 to give Tuvon +1/+1 and draw a card. Then increases the cost of this ability by 1. Ooh, baby! This card is great. I love it. Card draw. This is like God, what is that? The blue card. I'm obviously forgetting card names. That when you attack, well, it has Aegis, what makes it better. But you draw a card from your deck and you increase that every time it attacks. I know the name will come to me as soon as normally I will just look at the chat and say, hey, what is this card's name? I know it'll come to me. But yeah, card solid. Solid 3. I think this has some kind of time deck wants this. At the very least, this should see play in Expedition with a limited card pool and just a solid option for time decks. It might not see play in Throne, but this is a solid enough effect to see play in Expedition. Oh yeah, 4 stars. Yeah. Hunting Allosaur is a 7 power double time 4/5. Summon, give another of your units K and Killer. It's a draft card. It's a solid ability, you know. Like I played with a little bit of draft. If you get there, you get there. And it's a dinosaur relevant ability. And that's the only thing that really has going for it in other constructed formats. It is in fact a dinosaur, which there's dinosaur synergies. AVSR Patriarch makes it cost less. Various other things that make it pull it into relevance, but I don't think it's exactly gonna get there. But that's just me. And finally, we have Talir Timeless as part of the Scions for the new players, which is a 7 power triple time 6/6 with overwhelm. Your other time units have +1/+1. Okay. When Talir attacks, play the top card of your deck for free. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Fun card. This is great for new players. Great, like especially new players trying to pull resources at a time. As far as other formats, part of that comes to mind here is Diogo combo. I know. Diogo combo, being able to make the top card of your deck have a what's it called? Why am I blanking? Have Destiny. And so you I believe at least with being able to put the top card, make it something like Guard of Omens, to be able to the card that comes from that, be able to stack the top card of your deck, be able to put it whatever spell you want. and then be able to attack with Talir, especially if you give her Killer. If you can play Talir, give her Killer, be able to trigger that combo. Like Aid of the Horror, I believe, comes to mind, is the current version of what that deck plays. I think this card works great with that. You don't have to go through hoops like Diogo. All you have to do is you play a bunch of merchants, and you play the cards to stack the top of your deck. You play Talir in the market, of course, to make sure that you get there. And I feel like this just makes the whole combo easier, because you're going to be attacking with and if there's any way to reduce her cost as well, I'm all for it. And yeah, I think this is pretty decent to be able to stack the top of your deck. So maybe this is the new Diogo combo. Maybe this is what we need to be working with here, instead of trying to give things Also, it does allow more flexibility than Diogo combo, because you can actually play spells in the deck, because Talir, whatever balance, because I remember with Diogo's actual ability, you had to organize your deck so that you played no spells, and which was kind of a bummer. Well, you played no spells in the main, other than your 2 copies of Aid of the Horror, because you didn't want to, because Diogo's ability did to the top spell of your deck. And with this, it's just the top card of your deck is affected, so I think that makes that whole combo easier. So I think this is an easier way to do what Diogo combo was doing. So, and basically allowing you to play other cards. So we're definitely going to experiment with that at some point. I'm very excited to use this card. 4 stars. Maybe even bring that combo into Expedition, because I believe Aid of the Horror is actually in Expedition, as one of those options here. So there we go. Omen Scar Worm, I believe, is our last time card. Is an 8-power quadruple time 8/8 with Surge, draw a card. This is a fun worm. This is the kind of card design we need to see on uncommon cards. This is a Timmy's dream. Yeah, I get the worm out. It's an 8/8. I can draw cards. Outside of just being able to, like, and I think this thing could draw a lot of cards too. Like, of all the ways we've seen to gain influence, I think this thing could draw a ton of cards. But I don't know. I like it so much, I'm going to give it a 2. It deserves a 1. It deserves a 1. I'm going to give it a 2. And that is it for our time cards. I will be back in part 3 of my review when we're going over Justice cards. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Make sure you like the video as well. And I will be back to cover all this stuff just shortly.